I recently made a video on my Instagram story where I was saying that I want to get back into podcasting, but I feel like in my head, I want it to be all scripted, going into deep research, finding out things and all of that. But on another side, I actually just want to yap. I just want to talk. This is my first podcast in a long while, and there's a reason for that. But I usually have lots of things to say, and sometimes I just feel like short form video content does not capture everything I have to say. I love to talk, and I that's just it. I just feel like short form video content does not capture everything I have to say, and sometimes I'm like, these things I have to say will eventually go away, but they don't. They don't. Just like hovering, hovering, and most times, that's when I'm talking to my friends. I was talking to a friend recently. I was just saying like that, oh my God, I talk too much. Not in a bad way, but I just feel like I don't want to always just dump things that are on my mind on people when I have to talk to them and all of that. Since I have an avenue, I'd rather just speak to my podcast channel. But anyway, I hope this helps you, and I hope that you're here for a good reason. So today I'm going to talk about those ideas that have been on your mind in a long time. Those ideas that keep coming back regardless of, maybe the first time you had that idea was about 6 years ago. For instance, my example, like I've always had this idea of podcasting since the pandemic, 2020, and we're now in 2026. I dabbled into it a bit. Yes, at some point I was like, oh, maybe because I was working a lot, I didn't have time. I was not able to create time for this. But I realized that looking back now, I could actually have done it. Yeah, I think I could actually have done it. But maybe not, or maybe there's just a reason why the whole thing is coming back to my mind now, and it's just not leaving. It's just like you have to do it. So I believe that most times we all have, some of those ideas in our minds that, it's like you have to do it, and it keeps coming back. And I think that this time is such a pivotal time right now to make sure that whatever we have on our mind, we're doing it, because it's not going to go anywhere. If you have an idea in your mind that you've always wanted to do, and it's been tugging at you for a long while, I think this is just a good time to start. Let me tell you why. Because now we are in the space, where we have, lots of artificial intelligence. People are questioning what is real and what is not. People are trying to own their creativity as much as they can. So this is actually a time for you to own something of your own, start something of your own. And regardless of how hard it might seem or how, difficult it might seem, you might actually be onto something. And what I would advise you to do right now is to decide in your heart that you're going to do it. That's one of you just have to decide to do it. Once you've decided to do it, then you have to start reading about it. So you have to look for people that are doing things that look like that. Yes, innovation, things are new. Sometimes we say there's nothing new under the sun, but sometimes we have new things that pop up and all of that. But usually there's always someone that's made something like that, something like it, or has walked that path before, even though it might not look exactly like what you have in mind. So just look out for these people, read about their stories. Now is the time to hop on LinkedIn. Let me tell you why. Even though if you feel like whatever you're doing doesn't make sense on LinkedIn, the only thing, LinkedIn is not only made for content creation. So you don't have to write and post. You can just go there to make good connections. It's just that sometimes when you make connections, those people verify your credibility by looking at what you've posted, where you are, what you're doing, and all of that. So go on LinkedIn and then find people in that space and follow them. You don't need to connect with them, just follow them, especially if they're posting about their works. Attend webinars, attend workshops, attend conferences. There are lots of conferences about so many things these days. Virtual, in person, attend these conferences, network, speak out, ask people for advice. Yes, Take that thing you have to do seriously. You have to reach out to people that have walked out. And you know what will shock you? Most people will respond. I know sometimes we feel like, oh, how can I reach out to this person? Most of them will respond. Do you know why? Because not so many people are doing the same thing you're doing. I know that might come as a shock for you. You might be like, oh no, there's so many founders, so many people start doing startups right now. Where do I fit into the matrix? People are doing things, moving mountains and stuff like that. But the truth is that it takes a lot of courage for you to reach out to someone that you have probably not met before, or you're just getting to know, and it's quite an authority in the field you're trying to venture in. And then just tell them hi politely, hi, I found your page, blah, 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 blah. Don't use AI to write what you want to ask. Write like an human being, because that's another thing that throws people off. So write, hi, I saw your profile. I would like to, I was attracted to your profile because of this. This is what I'm doing right now. If you don't mind, can I have like a 15-minute coffee chat with you? Most times they respond. Connect with people. And I found it that sometimes it's easier to connect with people on LinkedIn than to try to reach out to them, one, in person, or even on Instagram. Now, another platform that is really doing well with quality connections is actually Threads. So if you're on Threads, that's an avenue to, I don't know what's going on there. People are actually being nice on Threads. People are being nice on Threads, so you can try Threads. But I would say LinkedIn should be your priority, and then you can also consider Threads. Just reach out to people in your field and have conversations about what you have to do. And then once you've had those conversations, you need to start visualizing what you want to do. See it, manifest, whatever it is, see it. Try to build a picture in your mind. Think about it, conceptualize it. When you start to ruminate on it, it begins to form. And even though the beginning, when you start, you might feel a little bit wobbly, you might ask yourself, where's this going, or you might feel like it's not really getting the traction that you want it to get and all of that. Don't feel discouraged. Though your beginning might be small, your latter end is going to greatly increase. So keep at it, visualize it, keep building in your mind. But even when it comes to visualizing it, you also have to be careful to make sure that you're comfortable with not being able to see the end picture. And that's the beauty of it, right? The fact that sometimes we are not able to see where this is going to end. And then something happens along the line. You're like, I could never have imagined that this would actually have happened. But you have to be comfortable with that fact that you cannot see the end in mind. But it shouldn't stop you from pushing. It shouldn't stop you from working on it. And yes, I know life is busy and all of that, but even if all you can do is to spend 30 minutes a day to just, work on that thing, or you can lump it up with some other tasks that you do, and you just try to make sure you do, even if it's 15 minutes a day, it is something. It is something. And so that by the time you look back in the next 6 years, you will see that you have built so much momentum on that idea. We want your ideas. We want to see new things. We want to see things that are original to people. We want to see ideas that are peculiar to you. That are peculiar to you. And then finally, start working on it. Start working on it. That is where the bottleneck is actually, because you now feel like when you start, for instance, I was saying that there was a time I actually wanted to launch this podcast, I think sometime last month, and I'd recorded a whole episode, and I saw that in between, the audio went off, and I was just exhausted because I felt like I yapped a lot. I said a lot of things, I wasn't even following any script. I was just talking, and I felt like, yes, I was really flowing and all of that. And when I pulled out the footage, and the thing is that I checked, because now you have to check. So I checked initially when I started recording, but somewhere along the line, the audio went off, and I just kept yapping like that to the end of the video. Oh my goodness, and that stressed me out a lot. So you're going to have times like that where you feel like you've put in so much energy, but like the results are not really things that you, the results are smaller than you've imagined. And what I'll just say is that keep at it. Now, there's this question that what if you fail at it and all of that. It's not you failing, it's the plan that failed, but you have learned something. You know, you've built tenacity, you've built consistency. So you didn't fail. So also know when to, pack something by the side and move on to the next thing. And I cannot really give you a formula to say, okay, at this time, this thing is not working, because some people have continued at certain things also meant for a long time and eventually they hit the jackpot. Meanwhile, some people have continued and, they should have dropped it since. But I feel like you would know in your heart, and you would know in your heart, and then with the counsel of the people that you have around you, whether something is working or not. You would eventually, there's usually that breaking point where you would see the line and you would know in your heart that, yes, okay, this is the decision I need to make concerning this thing at this time. So until you get to that point, keep going at it. And sometimes whatever we start with is not what we end with. There might be a sharp pivot in the middle of whatever you're doing. Like you might just see that this idea that I'm actually working on, what if I, mend it this way, or what if I tune it this way, or what if I try it this way? Or sometimes a completely different opportunity might just spring up in the middle. And that is just where, you take off from. And that's why I said you should be comfortable with not knowing where it's going to end. It's just so beautiful that sometimes the journey to creativity, the journey to launching our creativity or going deep dive into the ideas that are in our hearts are just like an unending tunnel. You just don't know where it's gonna end. But you just know that it's in your heart. You just know that. For instance, I have recently been drawn to learning about AI. Do I know where it's going to? At all, I don't know. Yes, I'm learning some things that, some skills I'll be able to apply in my normal day-to-day job. But aside from that, I just know that I have this, my battery is going off, and thank God I caught it. So what was I saying? So I was saying that like recently I've been drawn into the world of learning about AI, and yes, I know it's a necessary skill right now. A lot of people are saying that women should actually get into it for various reasons, but I know that there are lots of things I can apply from learning AI right now into my day-to-day job. Aside from all of that, I just have this, surge of curiosity, if I can call it that, in my mind to just go into learning AI. Do I know where it's going to lead? No. Do I know when I will start feeling uninterested in it? I have no idea. But right now, I am amped. I'm taking courses about it and all of that. And with just the little time I've devoted to it, I have met people, I've been able to understand certain things other than I would have, like easier than I would have before. And I'm able to see things differently because I'm also like, okay, the fact that I'm learning it right now, what can I apply it to? And even though I'm like, okay, I want to try to, look at three industries, I'm also able to, spread my mind beyond the industries that I've worked in before to just see the possibilities that can come from just this hunt for knowledge about artificial intelligence. If you had spoken to me about this about 2 months ago or 3 months ago, I would have told you that I'm not interested because there was just one time I was just overwhelmed. Everywhere you turn to on social media, AI, 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 AI. I'm like, what's going on? Don't you guys have anything else to talk about? And then now on LinkedIn, there's this, invisible wall between people that are writing originally and people that are using AI to write, and what people are writing, how they're writing it, and all of that. But one thing that is just consistent within all of these things is originality, owning your concept, from tying it back. You might not know where it's going to, but you just have that fire of that passion about a certain topic. And it doesn't have to be a craft. That's another thing. I met someone recently, and we actually had a very nice conversation. And she spoke about someone that, because of what she had gone through in her private life, she decided to start an NGO. And now it's not like, it's a full blown business, like a full blown business. Did I say business? Because it's not for profit. It's a full blown company. Yeah. It's a full blown company. Like, they're running, they have employees, they're doing events, they have people that are investing, they're just doing lots of things. Like, it's a normal company that would hire. It's not like it. But do you know where it started from? It started from, she had this experience and she just wanted to help other people go through it. And she started an NGO for that cause. And now, like, she's employing people and doing stuff about it. So the idea does not have to be something that has to do with the craft, because sometimes you'll be like, oh no, I'm not entrepreneurial in nature, I'm made for the corporate 9 to 5, ish. Count me out of those, which is okay. As long as there's a course, there's something in your heart that you have a passion for. There's something that each time it comes up, it consumes you. You're just like, I wish I could do something in this field, and it could be about anything. And I tell you that if you're able to give yourself to this thing for at least 6 months, something will come out of it. Something will come out of it. And one thing you can do by the side is to just, document whatever you're doing. You don't have to do it publicly. You can just have a book where you're writing your learnings, or maybe just record your learnings or something. You should just document the things you're learning, document the opportunities that are opening up, document the people you're meeting. You can get a template on Notion. Actually, there's so many free templates right now that you can use on Notion that will help you to document. Just work on it as a project. Work on it as document certain things you've learned. If you are consistent with it for 6 months, something will definitely come out of it. I met someone one time, a long time ago, and the person was working, doing fine. And then she told me that she had a music to release. And I was like, yeah, babe, go for it. And then she was all like, no, my corporate. I was like, do it. Nobody's telling you to resign. I'm not telling you to resign. Even if it's just like 5 minutes, or no, maybe 5 minutes, is like 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, throw yourself into it. And I hope she did. I honestly hope she did. I'm just saying that there's a lot we have in us that will solve so many problems right now. There's a lot of ideas that we have in us that we're passionate about, but we're doing nothing about. And I also sit in a lot of people that are in corporate, right? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be in corporate. I love corporate. But alongside that, if you have a burning cause in your heart, you need to spend some time pursuing it. Who knows? You might just help us solve, whatever problem the world is going through right now. And I hope this helps. And with that, I'm hoping I'm able to talk to you guys at least once a month, once a week. Let's see how that goes. Bye.